We're here.
What up, everybody? Thanks for giving
What
us
up?
some Tuesday night time. We appreciate all y'all being here.
Cozy.
The board
Who's
is starting to
first?
fill up.
Who's there?
I'll tell you who I know. Well,
What
I
you
know
got
one
going
guy's
on?
first. I know
What are you
Rhett
doing
Donnelly.
over there? Wrecking stuff? Yes. We've got
This is what
sound.
we got to hear. There we go.
I still don't understand how this happens every week.
It's like a caveman lawyer. May Phil Hartman rest
So
in peace.
does Rhett? I mean, he's like if this was a sitcom, he's like the neighbor that just comes in the house and he's here all the time. He's
All right.
here
Here's
more
your
than-
mission.
He's here more.
Don't do that's too vague. We
do you
actually have to say actual.
Character?
Yeah,
Mrs.
character.
Poole or something like that?
Mrs. Poole. Mrs. Poole.
Yeah, wasn't she in some?
I think you're just making stuff up now.
With a really high voice.
With the Mrs. Poole
Was
with
it-
a really
was it
high
Roseanne?
voice.
Was it Roseanne or was it? I don't know.
I think now you're just throwing stuff out there. All right, so I think
There was a Mrs. Poole.
there's a Wilson-esque character,
Yeah.
from Home Improvement.
Yeah, but he was across the fence.
he was across the fence.
Brett's here all the time. He's like here. You see?
I understand, but
right there.
but if you're gonna do
behind you
Neighbors, Larry from Three's Company,
Yes.
maybe one of the all-time greatest neighbors
Yes,
in
but
the
he's not
history of
single.
Neighbors.
But he's more Larry than he is Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson. We could go with.
Boner.
First of all, it's Richard Stabone III, and he was more
Rhett
of a
likes that.
he was more of a friend,
Put that away, Brett. That's
more he's like your kid's friend.
Jesus, man.
So
kids, there's kids up.
neighbor. That's your job tonight, board. What neighbor? What sitcom character is Rhett most like? We'll get your answers as we go through.
What we
Well,
got here?
on behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'd like to welcome you guys to another episode of Thank God It's Tuesday. We're down a man tonight, but we're up with Tim Strachan.
Man, listen, it's a Victory Tuesday, but it's also Victory Day number 5, and I think it's just all caught up to Kev. He went hard for all 5, and he
He
had to
gave till it
tap out.
hurts. It was a long
He had to tap
victory celebration. That
gonna
is
miss
a
you, dude.
fact. Yes,
we're all gonna miss him. But I wore this for a reason today.
All right, tell us
Because
about
it
your shirt.
reminded me I was inspired to wear this today, this specific one, because I have others of like a different, superheroes. But it reminded me because we're going to be talking tonight about how some heroes don't wear capes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
some heroes. I mean, obviously, I assume your clothes have meaning. I just never always
They
get
always
the full.
have meaning.
Get the full explanation. That's why I'm glad you.
First and foremost, the cover, but
yes,
that's
yes.
the most important meaning of
All of
my
our clothes have meaning, not quite as much as T's. Kevin wishes he was here.
Come on, man. I know we're going to talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it.
Heineke, right, is the hero of the game.
He's
But
the hero
there's
of
a
the game.
twist.
There's always a twist. But in case you're worried that you're going to get through an entire season without an aging quarterback trying to rehab an impossible injury and make a miraculous return to the field all in one season, again, don't worry. We got you covered. Ryan Fitzpatrick declined season-ending surgery so that he could rehab his hip, which obviously no one over the age he's basically like 90 years old in quarterback years and football
He's
player years.
badass, man.
He is badass, and
he's gonna work back.
again, we'll be among
see
the
him
first.
again.
Just like we said when Alex Smith,
We will see
when
him
everyone
again.
said no chance was Alex Smith ever getting on the field, nor should he ever.
Yeah, I'm
get on
not
the field
making that
again.
bet again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I came here tonight ready to make that bet again.
No.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will absolutely
Fool me
play for
once.
us again, and only because why wouldn't he? I mean, I correct me if I'm wrong. And someone help me out. If we had beaten Tampa Bay in the playoff game last year, would Taylor Heineke have been able to play the following week? Yes or no?
No.
No, his shoulder was very
No.
injured, was it not?
Yes, it was.
Kyle Allen, I think, was gonna. I mean, we never got there, and he did finish the game. But I think Taylor Heineke is a little more pleasantly plumped than he was last season. Like he can make it through maybe a few extra hits than he could
Yeah,
last
because he wasn't in math class anymore. He actually had his
Alright.
full off season to go out and throw and do reps
Eat.
with the eat. Yeah,
No
because
more
he got
ramen?
paid.
Yeah, 'cause he
and
got paid.
Yeah, and he didn't have to do math. Well, at least not like I mean, he actually he worked out.
Dude,
Yes,
math will
good
take
for
the
you.
weight right off
and
you.
he needed to. Listen,
do math. if
I
you
know
want
you're
to
gonna,
wait.
I don't know if you're gonna like this or hate this, but he as a superhero, he reminds me more of a character in the show Bad Boys on
Bad
Amazon.
Boys or The Boys?
I'm sorry, the boys
Yeah, I know you're talking about The
on
Boys.
the Amazon because as
I
a
love how you're
superhero,
like you're
as a superhero
flexing your TV
in that
sci-fi.
realm, he's got great characteristics. He's got the hero in him. He's got the grit. He's got the thing that people want to follow and all that
Yeah,
stuff. And that
people
was
like
awesome.
him. He's a lovable character.
But if we had lost this game, there's no way he'd be the hero that we think he is today. Because there was.
But would he be the hero we deserve?
I don't know. He's
the hero we need.
flawed. He is a flawed superhero.
He is
That's
flawed.
why that's why he's in the boys.
But he's not most resembling any particular boy in
No,
particular.
he's a new character. Totally
A
all
new character.
on his own.
By the way, that show is starting back
I
up
know,
soon.
season 3. It's coming.
It's coming. The and it's hardcore. I don't know if anyone. Is it on? Did you say the Amazon?
Amazon Prime.
It's
The
fun.
Amazon Prime.
The Amazon Prime. So we got you covered with an aging quarterback trying to rehab a terrible injury for their age. Obviously, Alex Smith was worse. Plus, he almost died having it surgically repaired in the hospital. A lot more going on with Alex Smith. But in terms of quarterbacks that the whole NFL thought they were pretty much done with, and we were kind of just going to try to squeeze a little more juice out of that rock. Now we have a comeback story, and that's what we have. We're always selling comeback stories here. So keep put a pin in the Ryan Fitzpatrick comeback story. I'm not saying Taylor Heineke gets benched. I'm not saying how he gets back on the field. All I'm saying is yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to play for the Washington football team again this season. It is, if you can make that bet, that's the lead pipe lock. If you have been
I told you the
attention,
lock. No, they didn't cover.
They sure did not.
They didn't cover. That's not. We didn't do. No.
We haven't been doing too good on lead pipe
Don't
locks.
listen to us. Don't listen to us. No more lead
You
pipe.
could have money lined us, which would have been okay.
True.
All right, so here's the thing: we came in last Thursday, and if we haven't already, said it, we haven't beaten the New York Giants forever. We covered that last week.
We reversed the turd.
It was a turd reversal
Yeah.
in memory of Turd Ferguson. May he rest in peace. If you watched last week, then you know what that is. The win was pretty much as ugly as they come. I don't judge wins that way personally.
It was an entertaining game.
It was the most watched Thursday night football game ever, I believe.
Wow.
And which is not going to generally increase the national perception necessarily.
Wait till the
of our
Manning
team.
cast gets a hold of that.
Wait till. Oh yeah, that's true. But I think when we talk about us being spat upon by the national audience in terms of gambling, in terms of perception, blah blah blah, rightfully so over the
We
last
still
20 years.
matter.
We do, but I'm saying that game isn't going to make your average football fan. I'll watch every Thursday night game, no matter who it is, and I'll have an idea about what I think about that team and that franchise. I've been watching them forever. Like people who watched that game who aren't from here and don't give a crap about our team or necessarily either team, aren't coming away thinking, "Hey, that Washington football team is really onto something."
But were you not entertained?
Yes,
They
yes.
were entertained.
They were entertained, but it was the entertainment stemmed a lot from ineptitude on multiple points.
I swear to God, on that second kick, or when he jumped offside, I don't think I've ever laughed as hard by myself watching a football game in my life.
Yeah. So it was a long day. Thursday was a long day for me. By the time that happened, I was with Pat Gareda at the very, very end of a long
that's always
night.
a long day right there.
Always a long day, and I was like
Peeper.
25 seconds behind live, and when Heineke threw that ridiculous interception at the very end of the game, when it was basically the Antonio Gibson fumble part 2.
Yeah, but I think he would have been torched if they lost.
Of course,
if they lost,
of course.
He would not. He would have been villainized a little bit.
But when that happened, I was 25 seconds behind. So everything was going our way. We got this one. My phone explodes, and I look down, and I was like, Pat, are we live? Is this game live? And he was like, why? What do you mean? I'm like, oh, dear God, please tell me we're live. Because if we're not live, I was like, something terrible is about to happen. And then right away, they threw it. And I was like, for God's sake. The we can talk about the ugliness all night long. I prefer not to because I've learned my lesson over the years that you don't ever look a gift win in the mouth. And man, that one in the win column, until you get your first win, this is what I said on Hawks Haven. Until you get your first win, there's no such thing as judging wins, categorizing wins, distinguishing between wins. You don't have any wins to distinguish between. We only got the one. We got to take it.
Win's a win in the NFL, bro.
Yep.
A win is a win. I mean, look at what happened to the Chargers, right? Look how great they looked.
God.
You know, I mean, it's week to week in the NFL.
Man, and I got to throw my hand up and say I'm a moron for yet another reason because my whole point last week was that the Chargers loss was going to age well. It didn't age 4.5 days or 7 days. The fact that they lost like that to the Cowboys was miserable.
Yeah. But
So,
here's I think there's a silver lining. We said it last week. Look, the Washington football team's not playing well. They're not. There's a few players that are playing, really well, but as a team, they're not playing well.
That's
But
right.
We're still either just losing or barely winning, and there's huge room for improvement. Something's going to happen with defense. I got no answers. I don't know what the hell is wrong,
yeah.
but they got to get it fixed, and I think he can get it fixed. This is a long season. But every game counts, and you take this win, and you should be damn proud of it and very happy with it.
I am. It's an NFC East win.
But it's gonna be a bumpy ride, dude.
It's a divisional win, so that's huge. It's an
It
NFC
is
win.
huge.
That's
That's
huge.
huge.
You know, again, we're talking. You got the extra wild card. You have the ability to get into the playoffs a number of ways, but winning your division is key, and winning conference games is key. So, both of those things were accomplished. The other thing about it is like you can, like Vince Lombardi said it right. He said, losing teams, know how to lose. Show me anyone who's content with, mediocrity or whatever. I'll show you a loser. He said all these things. He said, losing and winning are two different kinds of habits. So once you get that one loss, if we were to lose a second game in a row, now we're starting to develop a habit. We can't develop a habit of winning until we come out on top of a game 30-29 with no time left on the clock because the other team is terrible. That's just the start.
Losing is a disease.
That's just
As
the start.
contagious as polio. Remember that? Name the movie.
Say it again. Seriously, this is the most
natural.
This is
if
the
you
most
were wondering.
multimedia, digital media references you've ever dropped, and it's all been within
Kevin's
like the
not
first
here.
8
Somebody's
minutes
gotta
of the
step up.
show.
I mean,
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh,
I was working on all this stuff on the way over here.
Look at the set. It looks so.
I look like I'm about
empty.
to just swallow you.
I know, I
why
feel like
are
we
you
should change
so
it up a little bit.
small? Why is he so small?
Because without Kevin in the picture, Benjamin, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to do an in-show adjustment.
What?
We're still live, Rob.
We are? What are you doing?
Change the camera.
Are you going to put the skinny lens on, please?
Yeah. Let's just come on up here.
Bring some bricks to sit on. Sit up higher. Oh, that's brilliant. Make it bigger. That's perfect.
Right?
Yeah, good job. Yeah, you're fired.
Let's just bring this down. Let's get a little cozy.
Okay, people on the board are saying they're getting sick. Motion sickness.
Look at this. We can handle. I mean, it's without Kevin.
Rhett could have done that. I mean,
Well,
does he have a function here?
yes.
Okay.
I'm
All
the
right.
owner. He's head fluffer.
All right. Just wondering.
All
Don't
right.
get up,
That's
Fred.
a little better. At least now we're not like.
Ken's got it.
We're all in like the same picture and the room that we had. I mean, that's how much room do we need for Kevin?
Yeah, way more. No, that's way better. No.
Take out the Kevin room on the show.
Look,
Get to see the Marine Corps
that
flag.
belly, it creases
Sure
my Captain America shield. That's terrible.
All right. So takeaways. We'll just do this real fast in terms of good and bad. I think we covered a lot of the bad. What's your number one takeaway positive from Thursday night?
Well, I'm definitely going to say Heineke. I know I hedge it all the time, but he's proven he can play. I mean, and what I love about him is what Rivera said, what Chase said. They love this guy. You got to love this guy. This is a story in the making. This is our story this year. You know what else it reminded me of a little bit? Like a scab skin. The stories of those guys that came and did what they did, and some of whom got to stay. because they were good enough. That's what he reminds me of. That sort of storyline player, right? That everybody's rooting for, everybody's pulling for.
Yep.
And damn, did he not deliver on Thursday night? That was unbelievable. The guy has completed 93 passes in his first three starts in the NFL. No one ever has done that ever. That's ridiculous. So, some of his biggest attributes, in my opinion, is his accuracy, his intelligence, know how to get rid of the ball. But holy crap! Every time that ball leaves his hand, your stomach drops just a little bit because you have no idea what's going to happen. And I think people are going to catch up. People are going to figure it out a little bit. He only has 3 full starts to his career. It's going to happen, but I think he can do this, and it's going to be fun as hell watching him do it because of who he is, because of the fire that he's got. Did you see his eyes? He was pissed. I love someone who does that. It wasn't pissed off that was getting him unfocused. It was pissed off, I'm going to make up for it. That was awesome.
Well, all right. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try to fill a little bit of the Kevin role tonight.
Sure.
And do a little bit of snap count because I think obviously Terry McLaurin had a great night as he always does, and as Rhett mentioned on the board, that Jonathan Allen, continuing to crush it with the big money. McKissick played 61% of snaps. I'm sorry, 44% of snaps. Gibson, 61% of snaps. 31 snaps for McKissick. And they got some production out of him, which is clutch. The Ricky Seals Jones. Everyone wants to talk about what he did.
Kevin's boy.
He played 7.
Kevin.
And I was bad on him too. I wanted him going myself.
Yeah, you guys were pretty brutal on him. I mean, Ricky and I go way back. I knew he had it the whole time.
He played 7 plays.
The whole time.
7 plays, and he caught a
that was an unbelievable
ridiculous catch. I think the one that stands out to me on offense, our offensive linemen all played 100%. That's great. Logan Thomas played 100% of offensive snaps. You expect that. De'Ami Brown, he played 62 plays, 87% of our offensive snaps.
And he balled.
He did. That surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I would have expected to see Humphreys maybe out there. I mean, Humphreys still got 50 plays, so you could tell we were out there an awful lot with three receivers, I was just I wish Curtis Samuel was healthy. I wish he was making an impact on our team on the field. He's not, and there's not much more you can ask for as a rookie, especially someone who comes in as a 3rd-round pick with all the makings to be great. But what's he going to do with his opportunity when he gets it? Well, he wasn't going to get it right away if Samuel was healthy. 62 plays. In a win in his second game.
Damn, he looks smooth, man.
He
looks
huge.
like a smooth athlete, and he's only going to get better. And this team's only going to get better when Samuels gets back.
I think so, but I also think it's possible. I mean, again, like 62 snaps. First of all, we only played 49 offensive plays in Week 1 against the Chargers. That's it. That's all we had. So the fact that De'Ami Brown even got 62 snaps at all. Is nuts in Week 2. So that's a good improvement. So I'll take that as a positive. And then on the defensive side, what stands out there is the rookie Jamin Davis. He's on the field 39% of the time, 27 snaps. He didn't change the game obviously, but he got valuable snaps. Other than that, you're looking at Holcomb played the entire game and Jackson played the entire game. St. Just, got beat up and burned and lambasted after Week 1. I don't know that he made like this amazing
somebody's
comeback.
Somebody's got to be the one picked on.
Oh yeah, and that's going to be him.
He's going to be picked on. Yeah, because I think Jackson right now is saying, I don't know if you want to come over here. I think he's starting to prove that a little bit. Fuller, I think he's had a rough start given who he is, where he's been, what he's done. He needs to step it up. Look, that whole defense, that is. I know we haven't gotten to it yet, but I mean, because I know you give me one positive. The one negative is this defense is a mess. And that was the last thing that we thought was going to happen here.
So, what's the biggest thing in terms of our defensive struggles? Like again, one thing.
We're not getting any pressure at all.
With
It's,
four, because
it's-
that's what we're giving them. Because we are getting pressure when we rush five.
I
but
hate to say this because
they're trying hard. To
I don't like
four.
to be the Monday morning quarterback, but it's got to be scheme. I think a lot of it is scheme right now. Somehow, some way, this is not working. What they're trying to do is not working, and they've got to do something else to help out that middle of the defense, which is the biggest, the weakest link. You just said it. Jamin's not playing a whole lot right now. We got what 5-6 DBs in the game at the majority of the time.
3 safeties played over 50% of the snaps,
So-
2 of which were 75% of the snaps. So.
Yeah, we're trying to hide something, and they've
Yep.
got to figure out a way. This front four, as good as they are right now, it doesn't just happen. You don't just go go play and make plays. I mean, they're going to need a little bit of help.
Well, they're gonna have their hands full. Let's fast forward now. I mean, not that we've exhausted everything in the Giants game. We'll respond to any comments about the New York win. But they're gonna have their hands full against Josh Allen on the road in Buffalo. The one thing they'll have going for him is Red will be there. Obviously, that's a huge deal.
He will not be here. That's crazy.
What that's we're talking about on Sunday. He'll be back by Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry.
I meant that day.
He's not
Yeah.
calling out. He's not calling out sick on Tuesdays. So, first of all, he's hard to bring down if you get your
Rhett?
hands on him.
Rhett?
First, 100% Rhett. But also, he's like a young, more athletic Roethlisberger in the sense that he doesn't he can run around and make time for himself, but he can also just
He can run around.
he could just be untackleable for 5 seconds, at will. He could just all of a sudden be like, you know what, I'm not going to get tackled for the next 5 seconds. Try as you might, hang on me. It's like little kids hanging on their big brother's legs in a game.
They haven't been playing gangbusters either. They've got their issues.
I know, but they did just go 35-0 against Miami. And I understand people might not think much about Miami, but that's still an NFL score. We just played a terrible, terrible team. And
They had a dud week 1.
okay, I don't know where we get off throwing duds out there. They lost to Steelers, who I guess aren't as good as we thought they were. Maybe Pittsburgh is what are they 0-2 now? But man, playing in Buffalo is tough.
It is. No, you're right.
And really our only chance, if we're being honest.
Trying to see the positives here. Why are you being so negative, man?
Well, if our defense plays the way they can, that's how we win. I don't think we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna be able to outscore Josh Allen.
the
way our
defense
defense
has not.
been playing.
They have not pulled the turd reversal yet. The defense is still on a turd trend. I know we were going to try to go turdless this week, but
I was hoping. I was a little
I know.
optimistic.
Sometimes, but turds happen,
Yeah, they do.
and they're happening too frequently with this defense. You're right.
The
They
mistakes,
have
the
got
penalties are ridiculously terrible.
the game you don't want to turn it around on is on the Bills. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
They have got weapons. We have to talk about Diggs, local dude, good counsel, WCAC. He's going to whoop up. He's going to want to whoop up on his hometown team.
Yeah, thankfully he's
tough.
not coming here. Because if he came here, I feel like he'd be even more fired up. But you know what? He's going to be good. He doesn't need that kind of motivation. He's just good anyways. Devin Singletary's woken up. Zach Moss, I don't know what his situation is. I don't think I think he's been dinged up. They have what they have is a much more developed, roster in terms of contender status.
Oh, yeah.
And most notably at the quarterback position, which is kind of a big deal, as it turns out. And it's a tall order. If you were going into the season, I don't think we all had this chalked up as a W when we were picking our wins and losses. But now that we're in the season, we're here to tell you it's a winnable game because it absolutely is. It will require a better defensive effort specifically. On offense, I mean, we've scored.
Can you get a
points.
better effort on offense
Than we got on New York?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you think so?
Well, the mistake at the end of the game is unforgivable. Again, the fumble by Gibson, the interception by Heineke.
Okay, but
Those
those
two
mistakes.
things are.
No. I'm looking at it differently. I mean, look at the yardage. Look at how they move the ball. Look at their first downs.
Mhm.
I mean, can we really be delusional that they're going to be that much better going forward? I mean, they played their ass off.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to be. They're gonna have to be because if you're gonna, especially if you're giving up 29 points to a terrible team. So if you kind of go under the hood, I guess to your point, maybe you don't expect, um, maybe you don't expect Taylor Heineke to go for more than 336 yards most weeks.
I think 31's probably our ceiling. 31 points. I don't see us getting a whole lot of games where we're getting more than that.
Well, but the thing is the third down. I mean, we were 4 for 13 on third down. I'd like to think we could be better than that.
No, you're right. Okay, yes, that is always where you want to get better. You're right.
And on defense, we held them to 4 for 12, which thinking back, and again, it was the end of a very, very, very long day. I can't say this enough. That day was super long, and by the time we got into this game, like me trying to remember stats from that game, not the expert, but when I see that we held them to 4 for 12 on third down, I'm like, well, then how the hell did they score 29 points on us? For God's sake, that's
Because it was the Giants.
I mean, oh, and the one thing that did happen that we knew was going to happen, that we said was going to happen, that was unavoidable and inevitable, was Daniel Jones looking like a
Michael Vick.
Herculean, second coming of Jim Brown. I mean, shoot, he literally probably had 100 yards rushing called back. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's able to do against us.
He is deceptively fast.
So first of all, he's not just deceptively fast and no one knows about it. He had the highest speed of a quarterback. You know how they measure that shit? I mean, he was like 21.4 miles per hour. I was like, wait, what? I went back and watched it again. I was like, how in the hell did he get to over 21 miles an hour? I mean, he's just so big and he takes long steps.
I usually just put it on rabbit. I go from turtle to rabbit, and then I just gun it, and that's how I do it. That's how I do it. I don't know how he does it, but that's how I do it.
He's moving. I mean, because he's like running away from guys that are NFL athletes. And it's sad that that they can't keep up with a big lumbering white quarterback, but at the same time, he's freaking fast.
He's fast.
It's like the scene from Superbad when Seth Rogen is like chasing down Michael Cera, and he comes out, he's like, oh, he's the fastest man alive. He's the fastest man alive. Did you get him? No, he's the fastest man alive. It's like that's how Daniel Jones is Michael Cera from Superbad.
He's Flash.
He just flies.
He's Flash.
We got to play him again, everybody. I'm sorry to announce that we have to play Daniel Jones again this year.
Somebody's got to tell Del Rio he's going to keep the ball at some point, and he's going to run it. We got to stop it. I don't know, but we have a lot of time before that happens.
Oh, speaking of just real fast things that make me upset about football when I watch football. No. This is like a lesson learned.
What grinds your gears, Ken?
What grinds my gears? Last night, Detroit has the ball. They're driving. They have a chance in this game, a legitimate chance in this game.
That grinds your gears?
It's 4th and 1.
Okay.
They've been able to do a lot of things against the Green Bay defense. 4th and 1, and they're going to go for it because Dan Campbell is like old school. He's wearing like a tank top, wife beater with some like spaghetti stains on, and he's like smoking a cigarette, no headset. He's just on the sidelines being like,
they're smoking in there?
I mean, Dan Campbell's a nut,
Wow.
a total nut, and he just keeps his offense on the field, and he's like, you guys just call the play, and Jared Goff comes out in shotgun. And it's starting to rain a little bit. And he's in shotgun with a spread offense on 4th and 1. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Of course they didn't get it. They had other receivers that were open, but they brought Jamal Williams there to get that 1 yard. And my whole point about this is when I watch our team and I've seen us not make that exact same decision, but make just stupid calls. And it just makes me so aware of the lack of functioning brains in the NFL sometimes. It's like you don't need to reinvent this wheel.
That's why you got to watch the Manning cast. They both would have run. They said they would have run it. Even the Mannings,
everyone. I'm a dumbass, and I was like, well, how do you got to be under center? I mean, no. So we've been guilty of this forever. We've been guilty of doing the things that everyone else knows you shouldn't do, and I guess that's my point. When we're starting to break away from there, and now it's the Lions apparently who are doing the things that everyone knows you shouldn't do. But we've been doing the things that everyone says you shouldn't do for a long time, not just on Sundays, all year round. Signing the shiny objects, overpaying big names, Having coaches, letting coaches get run roughshod over by players, just terrible, terrible behind the scenes stuff as an organization. And then on Sundays, yeah, just like miscues galore. I mean, that's the thing
A
that,
lot of those mistakes from week one were cleaned up.
yes,
Some of the really
yes.
disappointing, penalties and negative plays. I mean,
Yes.
that was cleaned up, thank God.
That's what I'm saying. I think that organizationally, like we're not seeing like on 4th and 1, like we're not saying like if we send Heineke out in shotgun formation on
Didn't
4th and 1,
Heineke get a quarterback sneak? He did, didn't he? I think
yeah,
he snuck it.
he can move. He can absolutely move. But anyways, that's something that's like if you watch enough football and you appreciate when stupid shit like that happens, and then you realize, oh wait, my team's been doing this forever, and maybe they're not doing it as much. I know that once again through 2 weeks, Ron Rivera has taken a little bit of heat from fans on the time management or when to call timeouts and that kind of stuff. I got no problem with any. I think he's doing just fine. I love how he's been managing it. I know that people take issue with when he calls them, when he saves them. I mean that's been a thing.
But there's a certain percentage of fans that are going to do that no matter what.
That's true,
whether they're right or not.
I understand.
So we'll move on.
We will, but we we have called timeouts. I mean, freaking Joe Gibbs called 2 timeouts in a row. I mean,
whoa,
yeah.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that ever again. I thought it's Joe. We can't talk about
it. It is Joe
like
Jackson.
That.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't think Ron Rivera and the staff are taking us down like the completely inept road. I think the penalties and the miscues are a problem. I think Rhett's right. He said it on the board. I think Sam Cosmi had a great game. I think our offensive line is playing better. Brandon Sheriff being penalized. Yeah, you can't hear him, but you can read him.
Okay.
The Brandon Sheriff penalties, okay, it's not going to happen very often. You're not going to see 70. You're not going to hear 75 called for a lot of penalties this year. It's just not going to be the case. So, I'm not worried about it at all. And at the end of the day,
You okay?
I think Antonio Gibson is the right guy, and I know did you think we ran enough?
You just said that like you have a crush on him.
Well, I've been defending him. I've been in arguments for like the last week and a half about Antonio Gibson being our guy.
I think he's playing his ass off.
I do too.
I said it last week.
Did we run enough?
He was impressive as hell.
Okay.
Did we run it enough?
Yeah. Did we run him enough?
I think that I had no problem with the balance of it. I had no problem with. I didn't have any problem with play calling it, which actually I did last year.
I don't think 13 carries is enough. He had 5.3 yards a carry. Now I understand he had a couple big runs. He had a 14-yard run was his long, 70 yards, but 13 carries is not enough.
He made the most of those 13.
I mean, you think about it from a place. How many offensive plays do we have? This is where I'm going. We had no, not 69. We had 71 offensive plays, and he had 13 carries.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at that, actually.
Yeah. Me too. 46, pass attempts is, tells a lot of that story. J.D. McKissick got 4 carries. Heineke had 4 carries. DeAndre Carter had a carry. So 22 total carries as a team. That to me, that's just not enough. So that's my one thing.
Game dictates it.
So then what? Let me turn it right back to you.
Yeah, they're playing from behind. They came. They had the.
But those were decisions made early. We didn't run it a lot or enough early. I'd like to see. I mean, and I understand the game is going to dictate it. Saquon Barkley, to me, I know we keep bouncing between the Buffalo game and the New York game, but the Saquon Barkley situation. Again, I'm always and I apologize for being like kind of boring, a broken record in terms of always coming back to this. But when I watch football and I see a team tried out their all-world top draft pick who was going to set the league on fire. He was obviously a stud at Penn State. Talent just dripping, out of his pores, and he's just not. He's not moving the needle for the New York Giants.
He's not 100%.
I understand.
And the Giants suck. That guy's a superstar.
This has been true though for his whole career.
He is going to be. I still say. I said it when he was at Penn State. He could go down as one of the best ever. How many?
Not
years,
at this pace.
But how many years has he been in?
I mean, I think this is his third year.
Third year. Okay. Give it time. Give it some time.
Let's see.
I think he's unbelievable. I don't know. I don't think he's done. No.
Well, no, of course he's not done. Actually, 2018 he
He
played.
is a shell of
No,
himself.
this is his fourth year.
This is his fourth year.
This is his fourth year. He has
He
not
lost
lit the world on
He
fire.
lost one complete year because of the injury.
That's right. Last year,
Okay.
2020, he only played 2 games. He had 19.
He'll
attempts.
surprise you.
Well, no,
You'll see.
He's not going to surprise anybody. He's supposed to be good. All I'm saying is, it's not refreshing to see a guy. This has nothing to do with Saquon Barkley, but this is just a statement on how bad New York is. The team that's been beating our ass for
Proceed.
10 years. They're not getting what, I mean, 4 years in with a guy like Saquon Barkley, you want to have done better than what the Giants have done in the last 4 years. He's a guy who's conceivably could touch the ball 20 to 30 times per game and be a difference maker. So Terry McLaurin put it in perspective. Our third round pick has made a way bigger difference on our team impact wise than Barkley has on the Giants. For that matter, so has Chase Young. Really, if you look at what he did last year for us. So again, these are awesome things, positive things about our organization. Right now, where you can look at and say, things are definitely on a positive trend. For the Washington football team, because
Absolutely
in ways in which they haven't been before.
This is going to be a tough week.
So
it's going to be a tough week. I think we all knew that. You mentioned that earlier, but
yeah.
There's so I can't remember last time I've been this excited for each week. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Heineke thing. Maybe it was the Fitzpatrick thing. Before it was the Heineke thing. Maybe it's just the Chase Young thing. I don't know, but this is exciting, man. This is awesome, and hopefully, we can at least keep that sort of ride as fans. Keep this.
Yeah.
You talk about this being, a show on television. We opened it up with talking about this being a show. It's entertaining as hell right now. It might not always be perfect, but it's entertaining as hell.
So we had an awesome time in the offseason talking about what we thought was going to happen and before free agency and before the draft, what we were going to do at quarterback. And obviously I was very outspoken saying, I didn't want to trade up. I didn't, I would have taken Trey Lance. We all would have taken Trey Lance, but that obviously wasn't going to happen. We spent $10 million on Ryan Fitzpatrick, which is nothing in quarterback dollars. We spent a little over $4 million to get Taylor Heineke for 2 years. We got Kyle Allen for nothing. So our whole thing was we built a room, right? We didn't invest in a quarterback at this point of our rebuild. That's coming. That's still on the way. We've been building around the quarterback position, and we were like, okay, we're building around the quarterback position, and we're going to have these 3 guys who the coaches trust to run their system.
He will come.
And they very well
come.
may. But I'm with you. Like I'm not getting carried away that Taylor Heineke could be our quarterback for the next 10 years. Like, of course not. He's 28 years old, and he's a journeyman, but he could be here for a little while. But the whole point is, he can help us win, and he likely at this point shown us that he won't be the reason that we lose. And if you spend all this money on the best front four that we've ever seen,
he almost was.
He also
was the reason we won, though.
But you spent all the money on Terry and Curtis and Antonio and Cosme and Sheriff, and the fearsome foursome up front, and you got William Jackson and Landon Collins and the first-round draft pick at middle linebacker, and you got all these other pieces. Like it's really on them, because I think Taylor Heineke is going to do what it takes, to get us.
Oh, hell yeah, he is.
And that's what's fun about it.
That's the great part of it. Yeah,
and if we get it out of him, we're getting out of him for $2 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. That's like finding $1 trillion coin, on the beach with your little metal detector that you walk.
You have one, don't you?
No way.
Yeah, you do.
No, I just know where they are.
No, you need.
I know.
You got a metal detector.
Oh no.
You look like the kind of guy who has a metal detector.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
I hate the beach. I'm the guy who sits. I let people. Feel free to bury me. Just make sure you keep a cooler beers close enough where I can reach them. And with an umbrella. I hate it. I'm not metal detecting anything.
Rhett, find that metal detector.
I'm beer detecting. High Noons. By the way, where are we at on High Noons, everybody?
Love them.
I think High Noons are the best.
They're ridiculously good.
3 ingredients.
I'm not a beer guy, so
Three
yes,
ingredients.
love it.
Everyone thinks it's one of those malt drinks, so
not.
it doesn't count.
It's the only one with
It's-
soda, not seltzer.
It's soda, vodka, and fruit juice.
that's what I
Period.
drink.
Bam.
That's what I drank.
What else do you want?
It's what I drank.
As you sip from that
Yeah, it's Tuesday. I don't know.
bottled water. Do us a favor. Give us a subscription. It's super easy, super free. Also appreciate if you guys give us a
Super
like.
free.
Yeah, super free. It's like
Super free.
it's more than free. It's super free.
Super free is better than totally free.
It is. I think it is. Plus, we give you a different camera angle today with free of charge.
I feel like I should just like come on, like I'm about to,
come off the top rope.
yeah, like elbow drop you or something.
Well, don't elbow drop me.
Pick you up and throw you out of the shot.
What's your prediction for Sunday?
We should do it for turds and giggles to always pick us to win, but it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one.
What do you got? We're not necessarily going out yet, but let's do the final score prediction of this segment of the show.
I'm gonna say our defense actually shows up a little bit more.
Okay.
Holds them to 27, but it's way more than we can muster. I think we're gonna lose probably like 27-17.
Lost 27-17. Rhett, what do you got?
31-20 Bills.
31-20 Bills. Rhett calls the cover. What's the line?
8.5.
Skins
That
getting
would be
8.5
for those that you didn't hear.
Yeah, 8.5. Skins getting 8.5. A lot of. So this is why I appreciate our board. No one's blowing smoke up anyone's behind. We got Robert Cohen with a 40-27 Bills win. I don't know what AGH hasn't rang in yet, nor does Greg Martin. Although I got a feeling him and EO Anderson going to be on the same page.
And I hope we're all wrong.
Well, speak for yourselves.
Whoa.
I got a W this weekend, and I actually have a reason why. Not just blind homery burgundy and gold colored glasses.
Yeah.
No.
No, never can ever.
This is a trap game for the Buffalo Bills. Those and tell me
Who do they have next week?
All right, so are you ready for this? So first of all, Buffalo Bills,
They're overlooking
Super Bowl
us?
contenders. They are overlooking us. They are Super Bowl contenders, right? Now, they don't have a big team. They don't have a big game behind us. They're playing the Houston Texans the following week, which is the NFC. But then they got the Chiefs, Titans coming up behind them. They are, and the end, they took a loss in week
they're
one.
looking 2 weeks ahead.
They already lost to the Steelers in week one. They're 1-1. They see themselves as a Super Bowl contender, which they are. They don't see us as anything. I don't know that they're looking past us to the following week, but I feel like they are going to get it in their heads that they should beat the crap out of us, and certainly they're joined in that opinion by many. I think that they're going to struggle to make points. I think they're going to be able to move the ball, but I got this one going our way in kind of a lower scoring game than it should be. I'm going to say 24-20 Skins. I guess I'm not putting us. I've been going high with my scores. I had us getting 30 plus.
You're going to math over good counsel. I love it.
Well,
Love it. Love it. Hopefully, some of you got that.
If I think some people out there got it. I think that this is if the defense is going to show up, it's got to be this week. And if the defense does show up, I have no worries about them keeping us in this game. If they dump it over, and that means making Josh Allen move, making him uncomfortable, and making him kind of get to a point where he's not necessarily having the time and ability to throw it over the middle, which is apparently open 118% of the time, just constantly always open.
We need pressure. We need pressure. We need pressure. But they know that.
So 42-23 Bills from EO Anderson, Rob H. I don't know what he's got, although he looks like he's predicting a big Diggs game. I don't have Greg Martin's prediction in here yet. I just can't. I'm not going to, fall victim to the idea that Buffalo should beat us, even though they should.
Good for you.
Right?
Yeah. Well, you started off so negative tonight. I'm glad.
I'm building up.
I'm
I'm
glad
building
you're
up.
ending on a very positive note.
This falls into everything I believe about Ron Rivera and this team. I don't we're not walking the plank with these coaches. There's no inevitable badness ahead of our team. We have opportunities galore on a weekly basis, almost no matter the opponent. There's a way to beat the Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh obviously did it. Josh Allen didn't light the world on fire against the Dolphins. The Dolphins stunk out loud. Jacoby Brissett came in for Tua Tagovailoa and looked like me playing quarterback for the Dolphins.
Whoa.
Sorry, Jacoby. I mean, actually, I should say you're welcome, Jacoby. That's just not a game that means anything. And so I think they get you have a combination of a false sense of confidence with a team that has extra days of rest, extra days of preparation. And I like I said, I don't think that this coaching staff just is going to put us in a position where it's just like, we just go up there to take a beating. Like this isn't. We're not getting paid by the home athletic director, to show up for this game. We weren't scheduled for their homecoming. Like that's not what this is. That's what it used to be, but that's not what it is anymore. I think this Washington team can become a winner by winning multiple games. And
I do not think that they're overlooking us. I don't.
After watching, if they were watching on that game on Thursday night, they might be.
I don't know.
All right. Greg wants to know if the Bills are going to wear white at home. Yeah, don't they?
It's an interesting question.
I think they're. Well, let's see. They just wore blue. They were at the Dolphins. I think they wore blue at the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I think, wore white. Yeah, I think. Do they? I think they're gonna. Well, I don't know.
I've already thought way too hard about that.
But you know me, I love jersey decisions are a big deal.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Why are they?
Because like the whole. It's
Does
like
white win more often or something?
I don't think you can say that anymore. First of all, and secondly, in the world of HD flat screen,
That was messed up.
high definition greatness, like the rush to be badass with your color scheme and your helmets. But our helmets, we should, no matter what name we take next year, we should not change our helmets. Like
We shouldn't change anything.
All right, take it easy, 1950s guy. Where's your sweater vest? You didn't even bring a sweater vest tonight
Threw them all
to make
out.
a statement
I
like
threw them all
that.
out. I threw them all out.
You can't just be like, we shouldn't change anything.
Remember, I threw them all out.
You just threw down a we shouldn't change anything.
No, we shouldn't.
But I mean,
Certainly not the red
nothing
hogs
red.
or
Nothing.
hawks or
Yeah,
maybe
no red
would be
hogs.
good.
We've all agreed that there should be no red hogs in
I
town.
mean,
Yeah, So 24-20, you got us going down, what, 27-10?
17.
27-17? All right, 31-20 from Rhett. Any final thoughts about this Victory Tuesday? Anything that you want to throw?
I should
shine a light
probably
on?
be drinking what you're drinking. I like how you're ending this.
Got to.
Well done. It's going to be a rough week, I think. But hey, next week, I can't wait to be back with you guys. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and also,
Irregardless
we'll
of
be
a
back.
win or loss. I
to
want
talk
to be
about
here
it.
with you guys.
I
I want Kevin back.
I
even want Rhett to come back.
we definitely need Rhett to come back. We talk about schedule. Kevin hates to talk about schedule. I know it's not your favorite thing either. I love talking about schedule. Our schedule is tough. We got some tough names on it, but Falcons and Saints coming up after the Bills before you get a Chiefs Packers duo. So it's a 3-game window where we don't play the NFC East until late in the season, right? 12 weeks, and so we have the one NFC East win. We're 1-0.
5 games, isn't it?
It's our very last 5 games in a row. So let me. This is the last question of the night. I'll throw it to the board and I'll throw it to you guys. How many wins do we have to have entering the NFC East stretch to be in position to make the playoffs?
At least 8.
You think we need to have 8 wins before we get there?
No.
No. You know,
I told you. Well, who's gonna make math? Why? I don't do math.
so we have 5 NFC East games left, 2 of which will be against the Eagles, 2 of which will be against the Cowboys, 1 more against the Giants. And you figure you're going to need at least 9 wins to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right at 6 or 7. I think that the if you're putting the bet down, the over under is probably 6.
And so,
you're right.
as a follow-up to that, when we have made the playoffs, really except for last year, although kind of last year since we started off so terribly. We were like 2-7 to start off, something like that.
Yes.
When we've made the playoffs in our recent history, it's never been as a result of being good from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Never. Go back and check me on that. I think you're going to find that I'm 100% right. We've always enjoyed an amazing last 5 weeks of the season. Sometimes it was 5.5. Sometimes we got hot and that's. But
kind of like how you did the show. You started slow, and now you're really hitting your freaking stride.
If we can, if all we're facing is NFC East turds for the last 5 weeks of the season, and that's when we're traditionally hot, when making the playoffs comes down to that stretch, and we don't have any Chiefs, no Packers, no Buccaneers, none of that crap, going at us in the last 5 weeks of the season, I think it might be 5 wins. I think if we have 5 wins by the time we get there, that might
You're talking about running the table, huh?
Or at least getting 4, because 9-7 could probably get you a wild card, maybe. I think 6 might lock it down. But
anybody's running the table in their conference and their division, are they?
Well, but the thing is you play so often. Your games against the division are just sliced in there all over the place, right?
Give me some of that.
But it doesn't matter that no one does it.
You want some?
We win games at the end of the season. We don't win a lot during the season, or in the beginning of the season, but that just happens to be our opponents at the end. Like it's just weird. Normally, your divisional games are scattered around. You can get a 3-3, 4-2, 2-4 record throughout. But when we make the playoffs, we're like 4-0, 5-0, 5-1 to finish the season, and we're just having to be playing those guys. I think that's a big deal. So I look at games that we need to have in the bag before we hit that stretch. I think it's 5 or 6. I really do, and I think if that's the case, man, that's why this win was so huge, for so many reasons. Because we just kind of like put a pin in it, tuck it away, and we don't think about it again for like 10 weeks. And then that makes this Buffalo game almost like a week 1 type situation where, now we are who we are in terms of, Taylor Heineke is starting to maybe get a little bit settled. De'Ami Brown's starting to get a little bit settled. We figured out how to make J.D. McKissick work just a little bit more. We're cultivating a second tight end, which we didn't do at all last year. Even though Ricky Seals-Jones isn't, we're not rushing out to buy his jersey.
I bought it.
And our defense can't play that much worse.
I did right when he caught it. I was like, screw that. I'm getting RSJ right now.
I feel better now about our team than I did coming into the season because of these things. So, and you know what?
You feel good now.
I feel good now. It's like super positive.
Gosh darn it, we all like you.
Good enough. We're smart enough. We're not very smart, actually, as it turns out. But people do like us. Come on back. Do us a favor and come on back next Tuesday night when we will be celebrating what I think, sneaking suspicion.
We'll celebrate something.
Is going to be so at some point if you're going to be also this is the other thing. At some point if you're going to be a team on the rise, if you're going to make the move from terrible to mediocre to starting to make plays against your big brother, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, he's actually pretty good. Like you have to beat someone that no one thought you were going to beat. We before the season we said that could be a team like the Bucks, catching the Bucks on a bad week. It could be a team like the Packers, but you know what? It could be a team like the Bills. No one thinks we're going to beat these guys, And if we're gonna make the next step, got to beat teams like we got to beat a team like this season. Let it be the Buffalo Bills.
Let it be.
Right? John Lennon said it best.
Let it be.
Give us a like. You got to like that. Give us a subscription. Come on back in 7 days when we're talking about this Buffalo Bills Washington football team. Hang up until then. Kevin Rickle, we miss you tonight. He is Tim Strachan.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll be through all. It's going to be bumpy.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be fun as hell.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'd like to say thank you to Hogs Haven for making us the official Washington football team podcast of Hogs Haven. I'm Ken Marigold. This was, thank God it's Tuesday. We are still live. Still live. It is the Victory Cup, AGH. By the way, this cup is from the McClinton household. Darren McClinton and Kevin McClinton gave it to us. It's the 1972 Washington Redskins Cup. Outstanding team performances. We'll break down the cup next week. We're still live.
So what did we settle on? Are you boner? Is that what was it settled?